And why this is very significant for our area is that we can work out a person's state of mind. So for example, this tray here is very smooth and calm, and if someone's just gently working through that, you can see that they're relaxing and calming down. So yesterday I had an intake for a younger person who lives with ADHD, and we'd already been into the chalkboard room, and then we came here to see what he wanted to create in here. And why I knew this, that we had a bit of a trouble, was because he went
Oh, yeah.
he was, everything was happening all at once. He was really sort of not in a place of control. And so we were able to say, hey, I think that looks really good, but let's start to pull some of these out and see how that feels. And so we pulled some out, and then I was able to get them to pull all of them out, so apart from your one favourite. So in this case, you like this one because of the wings. And then I said, how do you think he feels now without all of those friends around? And he said, yes, he's missing his friends, and he feels like everyone can see him. And I said, does he like how everyone can see him? What would you want to do around here? And he said, no, he doesn't want everyone to see him. And we just sat for a minute. I said, do you want to bring some friends back in? Would you like some friends in the sand tray with you? Which ones would you like? And he said, I'd quite like the dog. And I said, oh, that's nice. So we got a dog at home, and we talk about the dog at home and how calm the dog makes him feel. And then I said, do you think the person under here wants to come out yet? And I gave them this back, and they said, no, they don't want to come out yet. And I said, who else do they need to be able to come out and talk? And they said they need their little brother. And they put the little brother in the corner. And I said, what's little brother doing in the corner? And they said, little brother lives in daddy's house, not with mummy's house. And they love little brother, but they worry about little brother. And so we start to unravel. And then I said, would you like any other family members? Oh yes, I'd like mum. And who else might be living in the house with you? Oh, I have a sister living in the house with me, and I have grandma living in the house. And they made a funny little joke because we picked this one as grandma. So we're laughing a bit, and I'm positioning them so that the people they like around them, they're starting to feel it's not actually them, but we're working with the tray. And then I'll say, your friend in the sand there is still, I can't see them. What are they doing? Oh, they're thinking of coming out now. And I said, oh, who wants to help them come out? And then the little dog comes, and they're sort of digging them out, and then they're with them, and they're back, and we make sure that they feel sort of surrounded and loved. And then we talk about feeling loved, and I've got a little tea set, and they can have tea together. And so that's one sort of example of what might happen in the sand tray. So, and from that I've gauged that this child is not, it's not just having behaviours that are challenging or difficult. They're actually they're going through, and they're having other experiences. I can talk to parents later, and I discover that the parents have separated, and this brother was very close to this little one who was born when he, and he felt that he was his protector and didn't want to leave him, and that was causing a lot. So then I could expand and share with the family that this little one was very important to bigger brother. And we kind of, we can work through like that. So each time I work with a sand tray, there's a story that comes out of it, or an exploration, and I get to a deeper layer of understanding the person or the character very often, and the family dynamics, without anyone having to answer a questionnaire. So by the time I've finished the sand tray intake, I've usually got to find out who lives in the house with them, who do they care about, what are their interests. We often have a little chit chat about we can have a little cup of tea in here, and they can talk about, who'd like a cup of tea, when anyone needs some milk with their tea. So you're doing things all the time that are, are fun. So it's like it's a little adventure, and then some people coming might want to make a whole garden. So I've got some green pads there, and then you find that they start adding all the fairy gardens. Yes.